suspicious that the dog is also deceased. And anytime you have two bodies, two dead individuals in one place.
You won't believe what the FBI discovered inside Gene Hackman's bedroom. Hidden rooms, mysterious artifacts, and shocking documents have surfaced, leaving everyone stunned. What secrets lie behind the walls of his luxurious estate? Could this revelation change everything we thought we knew about the famous star? As investigators dig deeper, more startling details emerge. Stay tuned as we uncover the explosive truth behind this shocking discovery that has everyone talking. You won't want to miss what happens next.
Well, when I see the word suspicious, it doesn't necessarily mean homicide to me. It could mean suicide as well. It means something other than accidental, Marky. So certainly everything in this case is suspicious. Look, the dog was found in a closet.
FBI's investigation, the shocking discoveries in Gene Hackman's bedroom and mansion. When news first broke that Gene Hackman had been found dead in his Santa Fe mansion, most people assumed it was just the natural passing of an aging Hollywood icon. But as the days went on, something about the situation didn't sit right. There were no signs of forced entry, no clear cause of death, and, most disturbingly, his body, along with that of his wife Betsy Arakawa, had gone undiscovered for 9 days. That alone was enough to raise suspicion. Then, the FBI got involved. At first, people thought their presence was just a formality. Maybe they were helping local authorities with the case. But when agents arrived at Hackman's mansion, they weren't just conducting a routine investigation. They were there with a purpose, a specific goal. And that's when the rumors started flying. Witnesses reported seeing black SUVs pull up to the gated property in the early hours of the morning. Agents moved with precision, entering the house quickly and heading straight for one area, Hackman's bedroom. Not the kitchen where his body was found, not the bathroom where his wife was discovered, the bedroom. Why? As authorities began searching, they immediately noticed something strange. Hackman's bedroom was locked from the inside. Investigators had to break the door open just to get in, and once they did, what they found only deepened the mystery. The room was eerily pristine. The bed was perfectly made, the desk was spotless. Nothing looked out of place. But to the trained eye, something was very wrong. There were indentations on bookshelves, clear outlines of missing items, a small but noticeable gap in a row of framed photographs. And then, the safe. The safe was slightly ajar. Not fully open, not entirely closed, as if someone had been there before investigators arrived. Had someone taken something? And if so, who? The FBI wasted no time. Agents surrounded the safe, carefully extracting its contents. What was inside? Officials refused to say. But according to leaked reports, the documents found inside were not just old financial records or personal letters. These papers contained information so sensitive that federal agents immediately sealed portions of the investigation. Some sources claimed the safe contained classified government documents, files that Hackman should have never had in his possession. Others speculate that Hackman had been sitting on something even more dangerous, evidence that could expose high-profile figures in Hollywood, politics, or beyond. Whatever it was, one thing was certain: the FBI didn't want it getting out. But the safe wasn't the only discovery that left investigators shaken. As they continued searching the house, agents stumbled upon something else: a hidden compartment in Hackman's study. Behind a bookshelf, there was a concealed space that led to a narrow passageway. Some reports describe it as a tunnel, others say it was just a secret room. Either way, what they found inside changed everything. The passageway led to a storage area filled with old, dust-covered boxes. Most of them contained memorabilia, scripts, awards, and personal belongings from Hackman's decades-long career. But in one box, agents found something that sent a chill down their spines. Inside were dozens of yellowed photographs, images of people whose identities remain unknown. Some of the photos appeared to be from decades past, depicting secret meetings, strange locations, and interactions that looked anything but ordinary. Accompanying the photos were notes, handwritten, faded with time, detailing events that no one expected. Some believe these notes were Hackman's personal journal, while others suggest they were something far more sinister. And then, there was the most disturbing discovery of all. As agents continued sweeping through the property, they turned their attention to the basement, a section of the house that had gone largely unnoticed. It was there, in a locked storage room, that they found what may be the most unsettling piece of the puzzle. Reports indicate that multiple FBI agents left the scene visibly shaken after examining what was inside. Some say they found human remains, bones that had been hidden for years. Others claim they found evidence of underground dealings, possibly tied to organized crime or secret financial operations. What's even more suspicious is the way authorities handled the findings. Rather than making an official statement, the FBI quickly locked down the case. Records were sealed, information was suppressed, and suddenly what should have been an open and shut case of an elderly man's passing became one of the most talked about mysteries in Hollywood history. As the news spread, so did the theories. Some believe Hackman was involved in something much bigger than anyone could have imagined, that he had knowledge of secrets that powerful people wanted to keep buried. Others think he may have been collecting blackmail material, photos, documents, evidence of hidden crimes that could have brought down the biggest names in Hollywood and beyond. And then, of course, there's the question of who got to his house before investigators did. If the safe was left slightly open, if documents were missing, if key electronic devices, including Hackman's personal computer and cell phone, had vanished, then someone had to have been there. The real question is why? Did Hackman know he was in danger? Did someone come to his home to silence him? Or was he simply an old man with too many secrets who finally took those secrets to the grave? The official narrative says little. Authorities insist that Hackman's death was not the result of foul play. But with so many unanswered questions, it's no surprise that the public refuses to accept that explanation. The mansion remains under heavy surveillance, with new reports surfacing that additional search warrants have been issued. Some insiders claim the FBI is still uncovering new details, but no one knows what, if anything, will ever be made public. What's clear is that Gene Hackman's death is not the simple case it appeared to be. Whether he was a man with dangerous knowledge or just another Hollywood star with a past he wanted to keep hidden, one thing is undeniable. Whatever secrets he was keeping, they were big enough to bring the FBI to his doorstep. And whatever they found in that house, it was enough to send shockwaves through the entire investigation.
The wife, Betsy, was found in a bathroom, not her bathroom, but a bathroom near the entrance. So that in and of itself is suspicious, with pills strewn about. And then, of course, Gene Hackman found in the mudroom with his glasses right there, his cane, as if he was either entering or leaving. Very suspicious.
Media frenzy, theories, speculation, and unanswered questions. The moment news broke about the FBI's raid on Gene Hackman's mansion, the media erupted into chaos. What started as a routine death investigation quickly spiraled into something far bigger, something darker. Suddenly, this wasn't just about the passing of a Hollywood legend. It was about secrets, hidden documents, a locked safe, a secret room, and the lingering, unshakable question, what was Gene Hackman hiding? Journalists raced to piece together the timeline. Hackman and his wife had been dead for 9 days before their bodies were discovered. No forced entry, no immediate cause of death. Then the FBI showed up, not just to assist, but with a specific mission in mind. Their focus? Hackman's bedroom. And that's when the speculation really took off. The most tantalizing mystery was the safe found in Hackman's room. Reports suggest it was slightly ajar when authorities arrived, as if someone had been there before the FBI. But what was inside? Some sources claim that highly classified government documents were discovered, files that Hackman should have never had access to.
Yeah, and I know the home was apparently built in 2000, and the warrant says the fire department, some of those utility crews came to check out, carbon monoxide leaks, poisoning, that kind of thing. They gave the all clear. I kind of thought that's what it was going to be yesterday, but when you hear about the pill bottles in the bathroom, does that scream overdose to you, or what possibilities is this leaving here?
Others suggest that the safe contains something even more sinister: blackmail material on powerful figures in Hollywood and politics. Then there's the theory that Hackman had been investigating something himself. Could he have been gathering evidence? Trying to expose a scandal? The media latched onto the idea that Hackman wasn't just an actor. He was a man with knowledge that some people desperately wanted to keep buried. But if that was true, who got to the safe before the authorities? And what, exactly, was taken? As if the safe wasn't suspicious enough, the FBI reportedly found a hidden passageway in Hackman's study, one that led to a concealed storage area. According to leaked reports, agents found boxes filled with old photos, handwritten notes, and documents detailing undisclosed meetings with high-profile figures. Some of the notes allegedly referenced dates, locations, and names of individuals linked to powerful organizations. What was Hackman doing with this information? Some believe he had dirt on Hollywood elites. Others think he was tracking financial transactions, evidence of underground deals involving massive sums of money. And then, there's the most disturbing theory of all, that Hackman's secret room contained something far more horrifying. Shortly after the raid, a shocking claim started circulating that investigators found human remains in Hackman's basement. At first, the idea seemed too far-fetched, but as time went on, the silence from the FBI only made the speculation worse. Why wasn't there an official statement about what they found? Why were records sealed? Some believe that Hackman's home wasn't just a place of secrets, but a crime scene. Was he connected to something far darker than anyone imagined? One of the biggest red flags in the case was Hackman's missing electronic devices. Authorities confirmed that his computer hard drive, personal phone, and several USB drives were missing. His family insisted he always kept them in his study, but they were nowhere to be found when the FBI searched the home.
You know, an initial possibility, obviously, the locations where they were found are unique to me. And there's a mention in the search warrant of evidence that he could have fallen. And that makes me wonder, did he fall and did she come upon him? And did she then, take her prescription medicine in a frantic state?
That led to a terrifying thought. Someone had been there before the authorities arrived. The media ran wild with theories. Did Hackman's death trigger a race to remove evidence? Was he silenced before he could expose something? Who had access to his home in those missing 9 days? And the biggest question of all, what was on those missing devices? One of the wildest but most persistent theories ties Hackman's death to the unsealing of the Epstein files. Just days before Hackman was found dead, reports surfaced that new Epstein documents were about to be released. Documents that supposedly contained high-profile names tied to underground dealings. Social media exploded with speculation. Some theorists believe Hackman had inside knowledge of Hollywood's darkest secrets, and that he was a potential witness or informant. If true, his sudden death and the FBI's involvement take on a whole new meaning. Was he silenced before he could talk? Did he keep files that someone didn't want getting out? The lack of answers only fueled the fire. As more details emerged, reporters began digging into Hackman's past. Despite retiring from acting, he still had powerful connections in Hollywood. Insiders say he kept in touch with producers, directors, and industry executives, many of whom had deep ties to elite circles. Was Hackman involved in something more than just movies? Some journalists believe he was part of a secret Hollywood network, an underground system of influence and control. Others suggest he may have been caught up in financial scandals or even blackmail schemes. And then, there's the most chilling possibility of all, that Hackman wasn't just an observer, that he played a role in the very secrets he was trying to hide.
And either accidentally or purposefully take too much. We know the space heater was found right next to her head, which investigators said it looked like had fallen when she had fallen. But it's the dog, Marky. Did the dog accidentally eat some of those pills and die himself? The whole situation is quite, concerning.
Yeah, and
Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the entire situation is the lack of public response from Hackman's family. Aside from demanding answers, they have refused to discuss the FBI's findings. No public statements, no interviews. Why? Some believe they've been pressured to stay quiet. Others think they know something they can't reveal. And then there are those who believe the family wasn't as surprised as they claimed. Did they know about the secret safe? The hidden room? The missing documents? The longer the FBI refuses to release information, the crazier the theories become. Some of the most outrageous claims making their way through the media include that Hackman was secretly involved in government intelligence, that he had dirt on Hollywood's biggest stars, that the mansion was part of an underground network connected to elite groups, and that his death was staged to make it look natural while key evidence was removed. And then, there's the ultimate question. Was Gene Hackman murdered? The lack of evidence for foul play hasn't stopped the speculation. In fact, it's only made people more suspicious. If Hackman's death was just an accident or natural causes, why the cover-up? Months after the FBI's raid, the investigation remains tightly controlled. No leaked autopsy results, no crime scene reports, no updates on what was found in the mansion. Authorities insist that there is nothing suspicious about Hackman's passing. But if that's true, why all the secrecy? Was he sitting on a bombshell revelation? Did he have evidence that could have changed everything? Or was he simply a man with too many secrets? Secrets that some people wanted buried with him. One thing is certain, the world may never get the full truth about Gene Hackman's death, and maybe that's exactly the way someone wanted it. Family's reaction: shock, denial, and hidden truths. The moment news of the FBI raid on Gene Hackman's mansion broke, the world was left in shock. But no one was more stunned than his family. For decades, they had known him as a private, reserved man who had stepped away from Hollywood to live a quiet life. The idea that he was involved in something sinister, something so secretive that federal agents had to step in, was beyond comprehension. And yet, as the details began to surface, their disbelief slowly turned into something much darker. Doubt. At first, Hackman's family publicly expressed confusion over the raid. They demanded answers, questioning why the FBI had any interest in their father's home. The initial reports from authorities had stated that his death was of natural causes. There was no sign of foul play, no evidence of a break-in. But then the focus of the investigation shifted entirely to one room: his bedroom. And that's when the unease set in. His children, who had been largely absent from the media spotlight, suddenly found themselves at the center of an unfolding mystery. Why was the FBI only interested in that one part of the house? Why was the bedroom locked from the inside? And most disturbingly, why was a hidden safe discovered that none of them had ever heard of? Hackman had always been a deeply private person, even with those closest to him. He didn't talk much about his past in Hollywood. He rarely shared details of his business dealings. To his family, he had always been a father first and an actor second. But now, with every new piece of information that came out, they started to question just how much they truly knew about him. When investigators confirmed that Hackman's safe had been found open, possibly tampered with before the authorities arrived, panic set in. Who had been in his bedroom before the FBI? What was taken? The family's attorneys urged them to remain silent, but inside the paranoia was growing. Had someone within their own circle known about Hackman's secrets? Had they been involved in removing key evidence? Then came the most chilling discovery of all. Hackman's electronic devices, his computer, his phone, his USB drives, were missing. His family knew he always kept them in his study. His son had even helped him set up a simple digital filing system months before his death. But now, every single device that could have held personal records, financial statements, emails, all of it was gone. Hackman's daughter was the first to openly express her suspicions. In a private conversation with close friends, she admitted that something about the entire situation didn't sit right. She wasn't one for conspiracy theories, but the way information was being withheld from the public, even from them, was raising red flags. Why hadn't law enforcement released any details about what was found in the safe? If there was nothing incriminating, why wasn't the family allowed to see the full list of confiscated items? The FBI remained silent. No answers, no updates, just more questions. As the media frenzy escalated, the family found themselves caught between two realities: the one they had known all their lives, and the one that was now being presented to them by investigators and the press. Some of them refused to believe that Hackman had any involvement in something scandalous. Others weren't so sure anymore. The public was relentless. Online forums and social media exploded with theories about what Hackman could have been hiding. Some believed he had collected blackmail material on Hollywood elites. Others speculated that he had been part of a financial cover-up. And then there were those who thought something much darker had been buried beneath his mansion. His family tried to shut it out, but there was no escaping the growing speculation. Reporters hounded them for interviews. Private investigators reached out, claiming they had access to classified information about the case. Even former colleagues of Hackman's, people he hadn't spoken to in years, started coming forward with cryptic stories about his final days. One anonymous source, supposedly a close friend of Hackman's, told the media that the actor had been behaving strangely in the months before his death. He had become obsessed with privacy, constantly checking his security cameras, avoiding phone calls, even going as far as destroying certain documents. The source claimed that Hackman had once told him, "There are things I know that could ruin powerful people, and if they ever find out, I'll be gone before I can say a word." Hackman's family dismissed the statement as nonsense until another report surfaced. This time, it wasn't just talk. Investigators had allegedly found financial records in his home that suggested he had been moving money offshore, shifting assets, preparing for something. If that was true, then what had he been so afraid of? His wife's side of the family reacted differently. While Hackman's children were still grappling with the possibility that their father had secrets, his in-laws were convinced something was being covered up. Betsy Arakawa, Hackman's wife, had always been seen as a stabilizing force in his life. She kept him grounded, away from the chaos of Hollywood. But now, with her sudden death, the exact same day as his, questions were being raised about whether it was truly just a tragic coincidence